Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising, it's time to have a look and see what is going on when it comes to your monthly astrological forecast for May 2022. And just a quick heads up for you, if you ever want to get a session with me, remember you just need to go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, or you can follow the links in the down bar below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it, and of course all engagement helps this channel out a lot. So what's going on when it comes to your May? Well, let's start with the sun. Let's see where the attention, enhancement, and support is going, or coming from. Well, we've got the sun in Taurus through the 20th of the month, your ninth house of higher education, government legal proceedings, travel, culture, your spiritual path and practice, as well as your reach, your overall reach, how you can connect to others. And this is territorial expansion time for you Virgo people, because the world is opening up to you. When we have the sun in our ninth house, we notice that a lot of our environment and a lot of the atmosphere all around is starting to shift in a way where we are getting a chance to grow it threefold: socially, professionally, and academically. And this can also include your spiritual path and practice if you are a spiritual practitioner. In fact, with this, what we see this territorial expansion do is give you a chance to break out of a lot of bubbles, or maybe get yourself into a space where you are attracting more complementary attention to what you bring to the table as far as your social life, your spiritual life, your academic life, or your professional life is concerned. We're also seeing a change happen when it comes to culture or the laws of the land in these areas in your life, in such a way where policies, trends, what's in, what's out, or maybe contracts and agreements are all evolving. They're all transmuting in ways that prove to be very advantageous to you. And you may find that even old agreements or old trends or old sentiments that have been maybe operating in these spaces in your life are starting to enable you to promote yourself. In fact, a lot of you who do have maybe a personal presence or a professional presence, say online, or those of you that are looking to make a name for yourself in your community, this is one of the aspects that helps really put your name out there, get you to be seen. And you're also going to find that with that support coming through and that enhancement coming through as well, a lot of you Virgo people are getting a chance to get some credit or get some attention or get notice in spaces where you may have been ahead of your time, or where you may have flown under the radar before. And this could even bring a little bit of fame and fortune your way. After the 20th, we've got the sun going into Gemini, your 10th house of career, upward mobility, as well as promotions, your status, your station, and anything to do with how you make your mark on your world. So we're just getting even bigger, it seems. Because with the sun in your 10th house of career, you are also going to find that this is a time where you're getting more value for what you put out there, and you're getting more value from your work. You are in a space where people are incentivizing you to further commit, and this can show up in the form of raises and promotions, big breaks. In fact, the sun in the 10th house is also giving you an opportunity not only to increase the yield when it comes to profits and your works and all of that, but helping you to ascend to a space of greater influence and power in your workforce, in your field, or maybe in your community if you do run your own business or you occupy a certain corner of your field in that respect. And this is going to also bring a bit more prominence, a bit more fame your way as well. We have Mars, the planet of action, passion, energy, that obstacle-clearing driving force in Pisces for the first 24 days of the month. This is your 7th house of partnerships, your closest one-on-one connections. This is your boyfriend, girlfriend, BFF, business partner, husband, wife, roommate, all the people that you have your closest one-on-one involvements with. And with Mars here, this is a time where we are getting a chance to knock down a lot of walls and obstacles that may have come between us and somebody deeply treasured or deeply close to us, or somebody that we work a lot with but have become distanced from. This is also a time where a lot of walls and obstacles standing between our union and a certain goal or achievement we would like to attain or accomplish for ourselves or for our business partnership or for our family or for our marriage, that is going to be coming through for us. Mars is pushing really, really hard here, because with Mars in the 7th house, anything that is preventing unions from being their best or operating at their best is going away. A lot of old problems or a lot of old burdens are also coming up to be cleared. Mars is all about finding permanent solutions to nuisances and things like that, not just covering them up, not just making them easier to tolerate. And you may be finding with Mars here as well that a lot of complications or a lot of intrusive influences that may have occurred or may have always been sort of a part of a partnership or a best friendship or any kind of union, whatever it is, are getting challenged and driven out by this energy. However, Mars is also going to be working on closer bonding you to your partnerships as well, and each of your partners in each kind of partnership, which means also knocking down walls that may prevent closeness and intimacy. Sometimes this can bring up fights and arguments and disputes, because in order to knock down walls and to get clear with each other, collisions are necessary, but it is all in the interest of creating a stronger bond. And you may be finding this happening across the board, and it's important to know that it's okay to do this, and a strong union, whether it's a strong relationship or a strong friendship or a strong business partnership, needs to be able, right, to have quarrels and clashes every once in a while without the world ending, or else it's not very strong or healthy at all. After the 24th, we've got Mars entering Aries, which is your 8th house of shared resources, passive income, I'm almost, tripped over my tongue there. Passive income, as well as intimacy, erotic expression, investments, and even self-employment monies. The 8th house is one of those areas that kind of governs a lot. And when we have Mars in the 8th house, this is a time where a lot of you Virgo people are going to get a chance to really cut loose and let your hair down in the love department, because Mars is bringing in opportunities to explore more carnal desires that have not had their chance to be entertained in recent history. And so a lot of you may be finding that you and partners are going buck wild from the 24th of May well into June. This is also bringing in a lot of adventure, dropping a lot of inhibitions, and helping to enhance intimacy further by bringing more courage and vulnerability to the table. This is also a time where financially a lot of you are finding that your supplemental income or income outside of a conventional salary or hourly income is also on the rise, whether this is sales, commissions, tips, incentive programs, things like that, or again, your own business. But you want to be careful not to burn the candle at both ends. There's going to be a temptation to reinvest in yourself, but we don't want to go overboard here, because what can sometimes happen is that we have chances to borrow or maybe get some venture capital, and Mars can make our eyes bigger than our stomachs, and we want to make sure that we're not going over the top. Venus, the planet of love, harmony, favor, affection, and popularity, is in this 8th house as well from the 2nd through the 28th. And with Venus in the 8th house, you are noticing that all avenues of income are getting the boost, but you're especially noticing, again, that self-employment income, the incentive program, tips, commissions, side income, starting to establish a whole new normal with itself, we can count on these things now, not just for this month with Venus here, but going forward to be a consistent source of abundance because, well, everything is jumping up a notch. You may also find with Venus in the 8th house, for those of you that are maybe single or looking for new people, that you are attracting in a lot of people that speak the same love language as you and have a lot of the same erotic sensibilities. And this is also going to allow a lot of you to start going on some of those wild carnal adventures that we just spoke about with Mars in the 8th house. We have Mercury, the planet of communications, speed, and productivity in Gemini, doing some really funny stuff this month. We've got Venus direct in Gemini through the 10th. Then Mercury direct in Gemini through the 10th. Then we've got Mercury retrograde in Gemini from the 10th through the 22nd. And then we've got Mercury retrograding back into Taurus from the 22nd going on to the 3rd of June when Mercury turns direct. So we're going to break this down one by one. Mercury direct in the 10th house of career, upward mobility, status, station, promotions, all of that good stuff we spoke about a moment ago, is speeding up your growth, speeding up your ascent, how you climb when it comes to your own professional prowess. This is also a time where you're going to notice money coming in very, very quickly because Mercury in Gemini is going to have you working round the clock, but it's going to be very simple, very easy to complete assignments and projects and procedures that start to add up very, very quickly. And you may find that you are way ahead of your normal income schedule for the month by the time we get to about the 15th, 16th of May. However, Mercury retrograde in this part of your chart between the 10th and the 22nd is also going to open up the opportunity to revisit old career or vocational prospects or even old money prospects that take you back to yesteryear. Some of them are going to be ones that absolutely are going to be worth giving a double take or maybe bringing into the present, bringing back to yourself. Some of them maybe not. That's going to be, of course, on a Virgo to Virgo basis. However, it is something to think about because sometimes old doors that we could not go through before being made available now are being made available because now is the right time. Mercury retrograde always gives us a chance to review, reassess, and maybe retrieve if that is what you desire. This is also a time where old financial opportunities abound are getting pulled back into your life, and you may find that this is a time where if you want to claim some of that, you've got it. However, Mercury retrograde in the 10th house can also be a bit of a frustrating time because you may notice that when it comes to dealing with colleagues, clients, customers, and communications, there can be some screwing up going on, some flaky behavior, maybe clients and customers not helping you help them or doing their due diligence, colleagues kind of disappearing, not holding up their end of the bargain, not pulling their own weight. And so it can be a frustrating time between the 10th and the 22nd of the month. After the 22nd, Mercury returns to Taurus for a little while through the 3rd of June. And with Mercury retrograde in that 9th house, there is an opportunity for a lot of you Virgo people to reconnect with an important contact or an important professional or academic path or skill or something that you were once known for that you are going to be able to cash in on again with very cool results. However, Mercury retrograde in the 9th house is going to require you to also amend or even undo certain commitments or certain policies or standards or agreements that you had made since so that you can make room for this adjustment. We have Jupiter, the planet of wealth, expansion, novelty, and luck, moving into Aries on May 10th, which is very, very cool for you because between the 10th of May and the 28th of October, Jupiter is in that 8th house. Shared resources, passive income, intimacy, self-employment monies, all of that good stuff. With Jupiter here, this is the time where a lot of you Virgo people are going to be able to accrue a vast amount of wealth very quickly because it hits all income avenues at once, and it doesn't necessarily require you to change a whole lot of your work-life balance. With Jupiter in the 8th house, you may also notice a few projects or a few involvements that you have are hitting it big this year, and they will hit it even bigger as we get into 2023 when Jupiter moves into Aries and fully commits there. Some of you may be finding that the rate in which you acquire wealth in order to make a substantial investment in yourself or your family, whether this has to do with launching a business or purchasing a home, making a big move, that is going to be very quickly acquired this year and next year. And a lot of you may also find that business partner and spousal incomes are also going to be on the rise, which increases partner contributions to the family as well as increasing business partner contributions to the alliance. You're going to find that with Jupiter in the 8th house as well, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for you to take things that you've been content with that have stayed small and help them to burgeon, help them to actually grow into maybe larger enterprises or larger investments that continue to pay out beyond Jupiter's trip through Aries. And so a lot of you are going to love that. We've also got a very cool life cycle shift going on during this time. Themes and goals and life paths 12 and 24 years old are going to be presenting during this period as well. And so a lot of you Virgo people may be noticing that there's a very familiar feeling to this transit. Pay attention to what was going on in your life 12 years ago, 24 years ago for the positive. Don't just glue to the negative like a crazy person. See what was there, whether we loved it and we want to have it back, or we loved the idea, but we couldn't take it at the time, or we couldn't take it on at the time. This is coming back for you as well as a very special gift. We have a full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio on the 16th, which is your 3rd house of communications, pacts, promises, commitments, your peer group, and yes, even collaborations. And with a full moon, remember we're talking about culminations, transitions, and endings. But with a lunar eclipse, we're talking about a gigantic culmination, transition, or ending. Now, this is an influence that goes on for 3 months because typically with a full moon, we're looking at a 2-week influence phase, but a lunar eclipse, we're going to be feeling this from the 16th of May through mid-August. A major contract, agreement, affiliation, collaboration, or community involvement that you have sustained until this point is probably going to come to an end. Or you yourself may be deciding to cut the cord, break the contract, sever the commitment yourself. This is a cord-cutting moon. This is something that is intended to free you up. This could indicate opportunities for travel or movement as well for those of you who are thinking about actually getting yourself out there or relocating or doing anything where you're able to cash in on that territorial expansion we talked about with the sun in Taurus. But this is also a time where this big move or this big break is precipitating a big page turn in your life and setting you up for easy street. But we are going to have to be ready to detach or bring to an end a long-term involvement, commitment, or association. We also have a new moon occurring in Gemini on May 30th. So we're talking about seed planting, new beginnings, and initiations. And this is opening up a 2-week window period between the 30th of May and the 14th, 15th of June, depending on where you live in the world. It's kind of an overnight thing. And with this new moon, we see a new position, a new service, or a new role or a new title being offered to you. This could be something that you do on your own time or something that you do in the workplace. But with this new moon in the 10th house, this is something that is going to change how you are received by the world and elevate your status and stature as well. So if you choose to accept it, it's yours. So that is what I've got for you, Virgo. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And should you ever wish to get a session with me, go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com.